when patterns replaced instinct. For most of human history, survival depended on instinct alone, because reacting quickly mattered more than understanding slowly in a world that punished hesitation. To understand when patterns replaced instinct, we must return to a time when humans relied on reflex, fear, and impulse, responding to danger the moment it appeared, and trusting the body more than the mind. The nervous system was calibrated for immediacy. Threats triggered responses measured in fractions of a second. The luxury of contemplation did not exist when predators, terrain, and weather demanded action without deliberation. Instinct worked, but only in the moment. It could not explain why something happened. It could not improve itself. It reacted, then forgot. Each encounter with danger was processed as a standalone event, generating a response that was effective in the instant but contributed nothing to a broader understanding. The body survived through speed, but it learned nothing through speed alone. Slowly, humans began noticing something different. Certain dangers appeared in familiar ways. Certain choices led to similar outcomes. The world was not random every time. Beneath the apparent chaos of daily survival, regularities existed. The same predators favored the same terrain. The same weather preceded the same conditions. The same preparations yielded the same results. A rustle before attack, a season before scarcity, a sign before change. At first, these observations did not replace instinct. They sat beside it. But over time, memory connected events, and connections formed patterns. The mind began building a parallel system of response that operated not on reflex, but on recognition. Where instinct said react, pattern recognition said anticipate. Patterns allowed anticipation. Anticipation reduced panic. Humans began acting before danger arrived, not because they felt it, but because they expected it. The shift from reaction to anticipation was a shift in the temporal orientation of survival. Instinct lives in the present. Pattern recognition lives in the near future. This was a quiet shift away from reflex. Instinct reacted to the present. Patterns prepared for the future. And once humans began trusting patterns more than impulse, the mind started guiding survival instead of the body. That was the moment instinct stopped leading, and understanding took its place. As patterns proved reliable, humans began leaning on them more than instinct, because once the future could be anticipated, reaction felt inefficient and unnecessary. The cognitive resources that had been devoted entirely to immediate response could now be partially redirected toward observation, comparison, and prediction. Experience accumulated. Memories linked together. What had once felt like isolated events now formed sequences that could be recognized and predicted. The world began to feel readable. The transition from experiencing events to reading events was a fundamental change in the relationship between the human mind and its environment. This changed decision-making. Humans paused instead of rushing. They waited for signs. They compared situations to past outcomes. Instinct still existed, but it no longer acted alone. The pause between stimulus and response, which instinct had always sought to eliminate, became the space in which pattern recognition operated. That pause, however brief, transformed the nature of human decision-making. Patterns also reduced fear. The unknown became familiar once it fit a sequence. Danger felt manageable when it followed rules. Confidence replaced panic. The psychological effect of pattern recognition was as significant as its practical effect. A world that can be predicted is a world that can be tolerated, and tolerance reduces the chronic stress that comes from living in constant uncertainty. But this reliance introduced risk. When patterns failed, instinct had weakened. Unexpected events caused confusion. Humans hesitated when reflex once would have saved them. The atrophy of instinctive response in favor of pattern-based response meant that novel situations, those that did not match any stored pattern, could produce a dangerous delay. The mind searched its catalog of patterns for a match, and when none was found, the response that followed was slower and less certain than pure instinct would have provided. Still, patterns spread because they worked more often than they failed. Groups shared them. Knowledge passed forward. Survival strategies improved through collective memory. The social transmission of patterns created a form of cultural knowledge that transcended individual experience, allowing each generation to begin with a richer catalog of patterns than the last. Patterns also encouraged explanation. Humans began asking why events repeated. Cause and effect mattered. Curiosity replaced pure reaction, the desire to understand a mechanism behind a pattern, rather than simply to recognize and respond to the pattern itself, marked another step in the evolution of human cognition. This marked a deeper shift. The mind began trusting expectation more than sensation. Experience outweighed impulse. Understanding shaped behavior. The authority of the body, which had governed survival through reflexive response, was gradually ceded to the authority of the mind, which governed survival through accumulated knowledge. Instinct had kept humans alive. Patterns taught them how to live, and that lesson was about to reshape everything. As patterns replaced instinct, they began reshaping identity, culture, and power, because once behavior followed expectation, it could be guided, taught, and controlled. Groups organized around shared patterns. Seasonal routines formed. Predictable behaviors became norms. Knowing the pattern mattered more than reacting quickly. Social structure began to reflect cognitive structure, as the individuals who contributed most to pattern recognition gained status and influence within the group. This created stability. Life felt less chaotic. Survival felt manageable. But it also created dependence. When patterns were trusted, instinct faded into the background. The safety that patterns provided came at the cost of the reflexive sharpness that instinct had maintained. Those who understood patterns gained influence. Elders remembered sequences. Leaders predicted outcomes. Authority shifted toward those who claimed insight into what would happen next. The social hierarchy that emerged from pattern recognition was fundamentally different from the hierarchy of physical dominance. It rewarded memory, observation, and communication rather than strength and aggression. Patterns also shaped belief. When outcomes matched expectation, confidence grew. When they did not, patterns were defended rather than questioned. Familiar explanations replaced fresh observation. The emotional investment in established patterns made them resistant to revision, even when new evidence suggested they were incomplete or incorrect. This introduced conflict. New experiences challenged old patterns. Change felt threatening. Instinct tried to return, but habit resisted it. The tension between established patterns and novel information became a permanent feature of human cognition, playing out in every domain from individual decision-making to cultural evolution. Patterns improve survival, but they also narrow perception. Humans stopped seeing what did not fit expectation. Surprise became danger again. The filtering effect of pattern recognition meant that information inconsistent with established patterns was more likely to be dismissed or ignored, creating blind spots that could persist until the cost of ignoring them became too great. This was the tension. Patterns provided safety, but demanded rigidity. Instinct provided speed, but lacked foresight. Human behavior now balanced between the two, and that balance was becoming harder to maintain. The climax of patterns replacing instinct was not mastery, but dependence. Because once humans trusted patterns more than impulse, they began living inside expectations rather than responding to reality as it unfolded. The future felt predictable, and predictability felt safe. Patterns allowed humans to plan, coordinate, and survive with greater confidence. They reduced fear. They created order. They made the world feel understandable. But they also narrowed awareness. When reality changed, patterns lagged behind. Instinct, once sharp and immediate, had grown quiet. Surprise returned as danger. This is a paradox humans still live with today. Patterns protect us until they fail. Instinct saves us in moments patterns cannot anticipate. Each is incomplete without the other. Modern life is built on patterns, schedules, systems, predictions. We trust models more than sensations. We follow expectations more than awareness. And yet, the moments that define us often arrive unannounced. Patterns taught humanity how to survive beyond reflex. But instinct reminds us how to respond when certainty breaks. The mind replaced instinct for a reason, but forgetting instinct entirely may be the next mistake. Sometimes the smallest shift in perspective becomes the beginning of a new future.